herzlich willkommen zu The Cutback Conversations, der Surf-Podcast. So, in this episode, we have a guest on our podcast, and it's someone who's much more than just a guest for us. He's a dear friend we've known for years, and the last time we met him was actually in Melagmore when he was loading his jet ski on a trailer after a heavy session in huge waves. He's one of the pioneers in Irish big wave surfing, the driving force behind the Irish Tow Surf Rescue Club that keeps places like Melagmore or the Cliffs as safe as they can be. And when he's not chasing giants, he works as a firefighter paramedic in Dublin. He's had multiple Ride of the Year nominations in the Global Big Wave Awards. And most recently, he took home the 2025 Wave of the Year tow category at the Irish Surf Film Festival for a ridiculous Irish slap judged by none other than Nathan Florence. All that while being the guy you actually want around when things go wrong in heavy water. We couldn't imagine a better person to kick off our guest area. We are very happy to have our friend, big wave surfer and safety legend, Peter Conroy here today.
Hello. How are we getting on? Are we there?
Hi, Peter. How are you?
Good. It's amazing what you can do with paying off people to win awards, isn't it?
Well, you did that right, eh?
But that wave was really sick.
Yeah, that wave is it's near the Cliffs of Moher, and it's a very dodgy wave that breaks right underneath the cliffs, so it doesn't break that often, so we were just lucky to get it on the day. So very lucky to get that award as well this year. Yeah. Still got my foot in the door for surfing, so that's the main thing.
Would you mind to introduce yourself a little bit for our listeners?
Okay, my name is Peter Conroy, as you said. I grew up on the west coast of Ireland, married to a lovely lady named Aoife. I have 2 kids, 5 and 7. I started my water kind of based stuff when I was very young, about 5 or 6, swimming in a swimming club, and basically went on to compete nationally and internationally as a swimmer, and then progressed to lifesaving. And then I became a lifeguard on the west coast of Ireland when I was 16 and did that till I was about 22, 23. And then kind of in between college, we did the lifeguarding on the beaches and then worked in a pool. I did my degree in England in Coventry, in the most landlocked city in England. For 4 years, I did international disasters engineering and management, just to basically look after my own self and my life. And then I joined the fire brigade in 2004 and kind of didn't look back from then. And I've been a fireman paramedic with them for the last 22 years, 8 to go. Then I'm retired, thank God. So, yeah, that's a bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you. We're so proud to have you on the show tonight.
Oh, I'm delighted. I'm so glad that you asked me on to share my life and have chats with you.
Did you start with big waves straight ahead, or did you start?
No, I started lifeguarding, as I said, when I was 16, 17 years of age. And during my breaks, I used to take the longboard that was there that we were given as a rescue board. So back in the day, and still to this day, the lifeguards aren't equipped very well here because it's council run and there's no real governing body to give the direction of what needs to be on a beach. So we had we convinced our boss to buy us a longboard in a sense that we said that it'll do as a rescue board, and he bought us a longboard. So we surfed every day on that. And then I progressed or degressed, let me say, when I bought a 6'4" and started surfing on that. And as you know, trying to surf a 6'4" as a beginner is not very easy. So I kind of stunted my growth for the first 4 or 5 years. And then in 2003, I bought a jet ski. And we just kind of went out to the Cliffs of Moher because that had been newly discovered. And I wasn't really a good enough surfer to be out there, but I went out all the time on the ski and did safety, and my lifeguard skills came into hand now and again. But I towed in a few times and got smashed a lot, fell off a lot, and just progressed from there really into the big wave world.
So, working as a lifeguard on the beach, what kind of beach were you actually supervising or patrolling mostly?
So I started in White Strand, which is a little inlet bay. So my first year was pretty tame. It was like a lake, very little rips, very little waves. So it was kind of like a starter beach to when you're young. And then I progressed quickly up to Spanish Point Beach, which has a lot of rips, a lot of rescues, a lot of big waves. But the lifeguard service in Ireland only starts in weekends in June, and then full-time July and August, and then weekends in September. So it's not a big career here, but I really enjoyed it. Made a lot of good friends out of it, and helped save a few people along the way. So yeah.
From the moment you started surfing, when was what happened that you thought there is a need for a surf tow rescue club?
Well, as I said, I did my degree in England, and from that, you kind of learn to analyze things that you're doing that are really stupid and trying to mitigate incidents that happen. And it was one massive day we had bought the jet skis and we were all going out. We'd no training in them. We'd no professional training on the jet skis to use them to their full worth. And I got towed into a wave and on a massive day out of the cliffs and got washed all the way in to the horseshoe bay. So I got stuck in there. It was like looking out at 30-foot whitewater. And there was no way out, and the jet skis couldn't come get me because we hadn't learned how to use them properly. So I ended up swimming out for 40 minutes against 10-foot, 15-foot, 20-foot white water, trying to get out to the rip to try and save myself because I knew no one was coming in. Got out there eventually, and then we all decided it was a good time to quit our tow surfing career for that day. And we went to the pub and we sat down and we just said, we can't continue like this. So I made a phone call to a friend, Glenn Ovens, over in England, to see if he'd come over and train us in the jet skis because I'd done powerboat training, and but we knew boats out there weren't what we needed. We needed to know what the jet skis could do. So Glenn had done stuff over with K38 in America, so he came over a weekend, and we did 3 days of intense training, and with that, Glenn wanted to learn how to tow surf. So we basically did a trade-off. We'd tow surf for like 2 years prior to that. So we learned how to tow properly. So Glenn learned how to tow, and me and Glenn ended up competing together, tow partners up at Mullaghmore in the first contest that we did up there. So, yeah.
Was there another incident with some injuries? You know what I'm speaking of?
That's well into my career of big wave surf. No, I broke my back. No, which incident are you talking about? The major one would be, I'd say, first time paddling Riley's. It was like 4 foot, solid day, but Fergal Smith and Tom Lowe were living with me at the time, and they'd been talking about this amazing wave down the coast, and they were towing it and paddling it. So I decided to go down and try it out, and I don't know if I wasn't up to the slab that it was, but I said I'd give it a go. My first wave worked perfectly. My second wave didn't work as perfect, and I ended up landing face first on the reef, breaking my nose across my face, and then I was squashed into a ball where my spine, my L1 just fractured. So I came up and I was in a lot of trouble. But luckily there was a jet ski out there, so the lads came in and picked me up, and the rest is history, really. Broke my back, ended up 3 months in a body brace, but got back out there about 8 months later. I was back out surfing at Riley's just to dust off the cobwebs, you know.
Yeah, when we first met Peter at a rescue course, actually,
in Peniche.
For doctors.
Yeah.
Or Ericeira, was it?
No, I think it was Ericeira.
Ericeira, yeah.
He had a really interesting talk about that incident.
We even saw a video.
Yes, there is videos online of it, yes.
And videos about nearly every other injury you could imagine, from broken femurs to...
Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of... I like broken bones because they're kind of easy to deal with. It's the other squishy bits around them that when they get hurt, that you start to worry. So
it gets more difficult at the moment, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, I think in my last count, I have 15 broken bones in the body. So, yeah.
Would you say the whole scene changed in the last, let's say, 5 years totally? Because when I remember when like 5-6 years ago, in Malakmore, there was a handful of skis, a handful of guys paddling. But like last year or the year before, it was really hectic. There was even a ship there and like 10 skis.
Oh, that's nothing anymore. Yeah, when we started up there was only a handful of us. And I think I hadn't been up there in about a year and a half with the family and everything. And then I went up on just before December to that big swell in December. And I think we counted 22 jet skis in the water.
It's crazy.
Yeah, mental. And a few, like Tom Lowe and the lads were paddling, and Ned Hart and them were paddling. But it was, it was a bit of a circus the way it went.
Does that even work any longer? If there's like 22 jet skis out there?
Yeah.
Is it still like coordinated?
It's not all towing. So you have a lot of photographers and videographers on jet skis as well. And then I brought up 2 jet skis as well for medical. So I had a doctor sitting on one and one ski doing rescue. And then I was on another ski with my tow partner, Bernard Cahill. It's got to the stage where the club gone through a full circle of it was great and everyone wanted to do things to now that you see people wanting to make money out of surfing, and it's gone to like little factions of how would you say, people going out doing it for themselves and not wanting to have a community involvement.
Okay.
So,
but just to make a business out of it.
Yeah, trying to make a business.
Yeah. I remember when we talked about the videos before. I remember there was one report about you from Red Bull that's still online, but they showed like a really nice video of you. And I'm wondering, is sponsorship the same as it had been years ago, or has that changed a lot?
Well, as I said, I've never been properly sponsored. I've never been paid to do what I do. I've always done it for the love of it. And I think even now, if Red Bull came to me, I probably wouldn't take it because I'm at that age where I don't want to be doing it for a company. I just want to do it for myself. And I see it now with young kids and younger people, like they have to perform like monkeys. They have to give the videos and give the photos. Like I got great sponsorship from North Core. Never got money, never got loads of money. If I did traveling, they'd throw me a few pounds. But I just get gear off them. But at the end of the day, if you sponsorship isn't what it was back 15 years ago when it started in Ireland. Lads, even that are on sponsorship now in Ireland, still have to have a day job to keep themselves going. It's not like the Kyle Lennys and the Environces and all those big lads that are on the big bucks. I think the lads that are sponsored here, a lot of them do have to keep a day job or a night job to keep themselves in pocket for when they need to get around.
So how is the Irish Tow Surf Rescue Club financed, or how do you buy the jet skis you used to take out?
The club doesn't actually have a jet ski. Well, we have one jet ski that's under maintenance at the moment. It was all self-funded by membership. So members used to pay 30 quid in, and then we'd use that 30 quid. And if we did training days with the jet skis or certified people in using the jet skis, with all that money go back into the club. And then we'd buy defibs and medical gear and place them along the coast. So that's where all the money is spent within the club. No one really got paid from the club for anything. It was more as a kind of community to get us all together. And if you were doing safety at any of the spots, your petrol would be paid for. You just put your receipts in and you would get your money back. And it'd take away the legalities of doing safety at a spot. Because if you're out there and people are paying you to do your safety, and you have no qualifications or you haven't kept up to date with your first aid or anything like that, if something serious happens, you can be brought to court, you can be sued, you could lose everything. Whereas the division me and my other friends saw was that if you were part of a club and you were out there volunteering to do cover and safety, you couldn't be brought to court over it. And if you did, you'll be basically saying that no one's paying me to be out there. And
so when all those guys like Kai Lenny and Nate Florence and everyone is coming to Mullaghmore, they get all your safety for free.
No, I haven't been up there. I've never done safety for them up in Mullaghmore. No.
So they have to bring their own skis.
Well, they bring their own skis, they bring their own things, but they'll usually use the ski for their photographers and not for safety.
Okay. But there's always some of your crew around.
Well, it is not my crew. It's the lads, as I said, they own their own jet skis. They're doing their own thing up there. So, as I said, I haven't been up there in about a year and a half, 2 years, and there are lads still going out, getting paid to do safety out there. It has become a bit of a money thing that people want to be paid to go out. Instead of the whole look after your friends, look after your family. That down here, every time we go out, we don't go out by ourselves. We'll always go out with our friends. There'll be 3 or 4 jet skis. We did a session there in the bay, and 3 of us went over on skis. We had 1 ski sitting off, not doing anything. It was just a backup ski. And then we were towing for about 3 hours on. So, yeah, good fun.
What would you recommend for someone who wants to get into bigger waves? He's comfortable surfing in, let's say, France, Spain, Portugal, and he wants to, or she wants to get into the proper stuff.
Into the bigger stuff. It's all about stepping stones. You need to be comfortable in 6 to 8 foot waves. And once you get very comfortable in that, you progress to 10 foot. And then while you're doing that, it's best that you go and you do a first aid course. You do a lifeguarding course. You go off and you do a jet ski course. And there's loads around Europe now. You've got the lads in Nazaré teaching jet ski courses. You've professionals down in Spain, in France. We do courses here in Ireland as well. So it's all where you want to surf as well. So Nazaré, if you want to surf there, there's a tow course that you can do there, and they'll bring you out and do that. In Ireland, like I don't train up. I train more professionally now, more the fire brigades and the search and rescue. The reason I can't really teach the tow lads is because I don't have insurance, and I don't want to be. And I did used to teach for the club, but at the moment I just seen the way the world is going that if someone that I don't know comes over to learn and breaks their leg or does something during training, I don't know them enough that they won't sue me and basically take me for everything that I have. So everybody we train in Ireland, it was part of our core group. So I never really worried about that, but in this day and age, it's something to worry about. Not saying that there isn't a course. There is a course we have with Rescue 3 International that we teach is a beach course. It's more for lifeguards. But if it's after the tow surfing and all that, it's very easy to pick up the tow surfing, but it's the competency on a jet ski and the rescue side of it that you'd want to be proficient at. It's not the towing. The towing comes from getting out with your friends and towing loads of waves. As the rescue side is completely different. When you do a course, you learn how to rescue unconscious patients, how to do spinal, all that. When you're going tow surfing with your mates, you're just doing a pickup on them over and over and over again. You don't get to practice that the scary stuff. As I said, I had that scary situation that I trained for. You know, that one situation that you never want to experience is a guy with a head injury, unconscious on the inside at Riley's. And you're looking going, well, this is every training session I've ever done. This is what I trained for. And there's a video of it and I can't even question myself. I did exactly what I needed to do. Picked him up, got him out. And within 3.5 minutes, we had the helicopter rolling from VHF radio. So the training pays off. That's all I can say.
That's amazing.
So do you fear that when a lot more of the, let's say, not only landlocked surfers, but surfers with not that high of level of surf skills come to bigger waves, that more will happen and that more serious incidents will occur right frequently? No,
because the waves regulate themselves. So if a person that doesn't have experience paddles out at Mullaghmore, the wave will regulate itself. That person will not try and paddle for a wave because it will scare the shit out of them. So I haven't seen a lot of, like, as I said, when I'm out, It's mainly the pros I'm rescuing, and they're professionals.
Okay.
They're the
Yeah.
ones going for the bigger waves. They're the ones chancing it all. Whereas some of the other places, as I said, the wave regulates itself. It's the pros that are getting the best ones and the more critical ones. Whereas the surfers that want to go out and get the smaller ones are going out on a smaller day, and they are learning the stepping stones. They're not just going out on a 50-foot day and towing in. Yeah.
So you don't think that the mentality of just buying a gun, buying an inflatable vest and an impact suit will bring people to situations they are not comfortable or not capable
it is,
with?
and they'll quickly learn that, yeah, the vest is good, but only in certain conditions. Not under the cliffs anyway, that's for sure, because once you go down, you don't want to be inflate your vest and
Floating.
be blown
Yeah.
into a cliff. Mullaghmore is quite safe. With a vest, you're being washed into a lagoon, so yeah. And there's usually skis there. But in Ireland, the likes of Riley's and those slabby waves, I refused point blank to tow in young lads and stuff that haven't got the experience down there. And you couldn't pay me enough to tow in. Like, as I said, I towed Ben, I towed Kai, I towed all those lads in, no problem. Because I know they're experienced and they're the ones letting go of the rope. At the end of the day, I'm just picking a wave and they're letting go. They can choose not to let go if they don't want to.
With your boys, how do you train them to become
watermen
or really good surfers?
So I am not training them to be anything, to be honest. I am letting them be kids. I'm not forcing any sport on them. They're playing the national sports we have in Ireland here, the hurling and the football. And they're, I hate to say it, but they are bodyboarders at heart at the moment. They love going out, and the game I play with them is the best wipeout game. So whoever can get the best wipeout is the winner. And when we go, they do swimming lessons as well, and we push that a lot. And when we're in the pool, I just horse them around the place, literally hold them underwater, flip them upside down and underwater, and try to explain to them that's what wiping out will be like if you're in the water. So at the moment, they're just enjoying life, and there is no pressure for being a surfer, being a bodyboarder, being anything but just a child.
But are they showing interest already into that?
They're
like,
watching waves.
Can you take us out?
When every time we drive past the beach, they're look at that big wave there, Daddy, and then I'd be pointing out certain things on the beach like rip currents and different things like what waves break, and it's amazing. Kids are like sponges; they'll just soak it up, and I can see them soaking. But I'm enjoying it to see it. But as I said, if they enjoyed knitting, I'd encourage them to do that as well. But yeah.
When we're talking about like the first steps, is there anything that you would recommend to somebody that tries to surf for the very first time or even goes out into water he's probably not familiar with? Is there like one message that you would pass on to them?
Yeah, I would say to them, go with a reputable surf school and listen to the surf instructors. If you are going to go off and to get decathlon and all those, go to a place where there's a lot of surfers and they're surfing on the beach and watch what they do. But I would advise, don't buy a board, don't buy a wetsuit, go to a surf school first and learn from them first. And they will advise you on what board you need and what wetsuit they need.
All right.
And there's many people who want to get to tackle real big surf. Would you say there's courses like apnea training or such things that are really recommendable?
Yeah. Like, I've never done an apnea course because when you do an apnea course, it's all about slow and calm and deep breaths, and that's completely opposite to big waves and, oh, fuck, I'm going to die. And your heart rate is elevated. So what I like to teach when I teach is understanding your body, what is happening within your body. As I said, when you do apnea training, they teach about CO2, and that is what making you breathe. And it's great to understand the science behind it. And especially when you're in cold water as well, but cold water flushes that you can do, and getting prepared for those kind of wipeouts. Because as I said, everyone's a tough man until they get punched in the face. And that's what happens in the surf. You can be the best person and hold your breath for 6 minutes in an apnea course, but you get one wave to the face and you won't be able to hold your breath for 5 seconds. So yeah, it is. I would advise a person to do an apnea course just for the understanding of how your body uses oxygen. And that's the main thing we need to understand here in water is oxygen and the brain. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain needs oxygen for it to work. And it's a supercomputer within your head. Lungs is grand. We can fix lungs when we drag you out of the ocean. But if the oxygen isn't getting to the brain, it's good night. And yeah, it doesn't matter how long you can hold your breath for. So understanding that in apnea courses, definitely. Lifeguarding courses, just for the safety. And it's not for your safety, it's for the safety of others that you can actually help out in an emergency situation. And even just identifying an emergency situation by identifying rips, identifying people that are drowning, because it's not what you see on the TV, people flapping and flaming around. It's that silent killer that basically they disappear under the water. And so a lifeguarding course is a definite. And if they want to do the big waves, definitely a jet ski course. 100%. Learn how a jet ski works. Learn how it starts, how to turn it, how to help out in a situation, even being on the back of a sled, doing CPR. And yeah, that's about it, really.
There's the big wave spots. And then there's spots that handle big waves. Would you think those are the stepping stones for the big waves spots?
I think the stepping stones for the big waves, the slab waves, as we would call them, as in Mullaghmore and Riley's and the cliffs, because they're breaking straight onto rock. I think you're better off going to France, La Gravière, all those kind of places where it's on a beach. So when you fuck up, you land on a beach and you get washed up the beach. Whereas the cliffs, you mess up there, you're under a cliff on rocks and there's no one coming to help you. At Riley's, you're smashed onto the rock and you're basically washed back out to sea because of the rips that are there. Mullaghmore is pretty safe. You get smashed, you get washed into a big lagoon afterwards, depending on the size. But if you want to do that stepping stone thing, get a gun and go out to a big beach and learn how to paddle out through the waves and understanding what the swell is doing, how to use the rips to get out past the breaking waves. And
watch the waves.
And watch the wave, yeah. Seeing what it's doing.
Before surfing it, just sit there and watch the current, watch
other surfers on it as well. And if you have your mind set on a certain wave, there'll always be videos of people surfing those waves. So looking at them and analyzing them as well is a very important thing.
You once gave me a really good advice on wiping out, because I asked you years back, how do you survive those wipeouts? And you said, just have to learn to love them, to just let go and enjoy them.
Ride.
Go to your happy place. Enjoy the ride. Yeah. And I still to this day, even when I was towing the other day, I got a good smack up the wave and it pushed me down and I just had to start laughing underwater because I was like, here we go again. You're too old for this. You're going to be hurt. And then because I told a guy that's in his early 30s, he came flying in on the jet ski laughing at me as well. And I got on the back and I was like, oh, I'm bollocksed. And he just basically says, no excuses, and straight back out the back onto another wave. So yeah, it's always good to have a good tow partner to basically kick your arse. So I'm lucky to have Bernard there to do that.
And also to keep going after that last wipeout, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Never end on a bad one.
Do you actually have more fun towing or paddling in?
Towing. 100%. We get way more waves, way bigger. Now, saying that, when I surf, longboarding, I really enjoy longboarding. Like, that's my go-to. For summertime fitness, I'm go out, get 40, 50 waves, paddle my arse off. And yeah, I really enjoy longboarding. Saying that, if it's nice on certain waves around here, I'll grab the 5.5 and I'll head out and get loads of turns in on the shorter board. But my go-to is the longboard for the last 10 years. Just from a fitness side of it, and for the stuff you learn on a longboard will revert down to a shortboard. Because if you want to turn, you need to put all your weight on the back foot and all that. Whereas the opposite way around, if you're on a shortboard, it doesn't really relate to a longboard because of the rails and the fins that are on it.
I think the last time I saw you longboarding, you did a headstand on it.
Oh, I love my outfits. I don't get any points in the competitions though for any of that. It's all jiggery. And I'm like, well, show me somebody else doing what I'm doing. And they can't do it. So it has to be, like if you looked at all the original competitions, it was all about hanging 5, hanging 10, headstands, twirly whirlies, reverse takeoffs. But now longboard competitions it's like surfing the longboard like a shortboard. So you're gone away from the traditional longboarding. So yeah,
everything got more serious.
It's way too serious. Way too serious. Yeah.
If someone comes to Ireland, what would you recommend them to do when concerning locals and respect to the locals? Like, how to approach surf spots and everything?
Yeah, like Ireland is, as you know, it's very, you'll have your good and bad days. Everybody has their good and bad days. When you go out to a spot, just sit on the shoulder and watch it for a while. Say hello to the locals, have a chat with them. Who's local? We don't know anymore. I go to the Hinch now and I'll paddle out of my local spot that I've surfed for 30 years. And there's people out there that are looking at you like with two heads. Just because I haven't been there in the last 3 or 4 months, they'd look at you like, who's this guy? And like, they probably moved there a month ago and they've surfed there every day. And they're like, they think they're a local after being there for 2 or 3 months. Even the lads with it, like, but it's all about having a smile on your face, not dropping in on people, and just respecting everybody in the water. It's not about respecting locals. It's respecting everybody that's out there. If you see that there's a girl struggling because she's sitting on the shoulder trying to paddle into waves, I always love going over and say, listen, come up here beside us at the peak and you'll get a wave a lot easier than on the shoulder. Even the younger kids, getting them up beside you. And you'll have to sacrifice a few of your own waves for them, and that's fine. But it's all about incorporating everybody and enjoying, making sure they have the best time of their lives as well.
You have to say that the level of Irish surfing skyrocketed in the last couple of years. It's
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. The likes of Gerard McDade, Conor Maguire, like they're leading the charge with the big wave stuff and competition stuff. Gerard at like international. Hopefully he gets on the Olympic team now as well. Conor in the big wave scene, like sure, surfing waves equivalent to everybody, any other big wave named in the world. You have the likes of Callum Fitz, Callum Curtin here down in Clare, charging, Ollie, all the boys, Bernard. It could go on and on and on. And then you had the likes of Fergal and Tom Lowe starting all their careers off here. And Tom Lowe is up there with the best in the world as well. Nathan Florence is coming over. As I said, Kyle Lenny was over recently. And that's what's going to blow it out of the water, I think, is those people with massive media personalities advertising these kind of waves. And as I said, the winter regulates itself as well because it's so damn cold here that the Hawaiians or the Californians don't really like it. They'll do it for 1 or 2 seasons, but they just won't do it anymore. But
I think Nacho stayed a whole season there.
Nacho's a local now. Nacho's a local. He's one of the boys.
He had an amazing wave.
Oh, he's had a few.
I think
it's funny, every time I surf with him, he catches the best wave of his life. Every time. Every time I've seen him. Him and Nick Von Rupp, it's like, that's the best wave I've ever caught in my life. And I'm like, you said that about the last wave.
And that one is better.
And it's not the best wave in their life. It's the worst wipeout they've ever had.
Yeah, when I was there, Nacho had an amazing wave. He had the best wave of the session.
Yeah. He's had a few of them now. In the last December, he got a paddle wave as well. Or was it a toe one? Yeah, there was a lot of waves caught on the tow day that everybody, they were ridiculous. It was an amazing session to watch, but the scariest session you'll ever watch. Yeah, they were the best in the world, but man, if something went wrong, it was going to be scary out there. But it didn't.
How often do you reckon things go south in big waves compared to smaller waves?
Not as often as you think. Smaller waves, you have more injuries in smaller waves than you do in bigger waves because you're not catching as many waves. The people that are surfing are a lot more risk averse and calculated. They're kind of choosing their waves a lot better than the smaller waves. So, and there's usually a lot more water underneath you as well. Well, depending on the wave.
Yeah, except Riley's.
Except Riley's. Yeah, Riley's it's topped up a lot of injuries over the last few years. So, and it's a scary spot to be caught in as well.
We've been there and watched the wave and said it's
psycho.
Hardly rideable.
Yeah, no, on a good day it's very rideable, but it's the days where it's kind of rideable and we try and then we just get smashed and washed up the rocks and then
Then try another day.
Yes. No, I was out there. I went out 2 weeks ago. Went out, and what I thought was going to be like a nice 6 to 8 foot slab session turned out to be a 10 to 12 foot mutant, ridiculous session. But we didn't even surf. I just looked and I said, I'm having nothing to do with this. And that's important to remember, that it's okay to say no. And the reason I said no is because of the risk factor of wiping out there. There was no let up of the whitewater on the inside, so the skis would become redundant. The closeout waves were just ridiculous, and the rip in the middle of the bay was like the jet ski was struggling to stay in line. So we watched it for a while, and then we just put our tails between our legs and we went home.
But stay safe.
Yes, exactly.
And surf for another day.
Yes, the next day we surfed a lot.
Would you say having a family has anyhow changed making your decisions in terms of risk assessment and when to go or when not to go?
For me personally, no, hasn't changed anything in a sense of letting go of the rope or doing it. It's more of a sense of choosing. You can't be on every session anymore. You have to sacrifice your surfing for your family. And I've come to terms with that I haven't surfed at all this year compared to what before I had kids. I'd be out on every session. Now I just have to time it right, get permission off the wife to go surfing, build up brownie points for the big days, or to even go training on the jet skis. So it's just as you asked, no, I'll still let go on the biggest wave that comes through. I won't think of my family because there's no point in it. It'll just set fear into me, and you don't need that out there when you're doing it. So no, I can still compartmentalize them out of it and just go out to do what I want to do, and is catch a big wave. And as I said, one big barrel a year does me. So I'm still at that.
Would you say the big wave surfing affects your professional life as a firefighter? Like you can stay calm in tough situations or something like that?
Yes and no. As you know, when we train to do something, when we finish our training and we go out into the real world and we experience it for the first time, we're all going to be shitting ourselves, because it's all well and good in training, being in the pool and being in the sea and small days. But the first time you go out there, or you do a truck driving lesson and you get your license to drive a truck, and then you have to drive the truck on the roads fast, or you have to drive the jet ski in the whitewater fast. It's just through repetition that skill set gets advanced and you become comfortable with it. As I said, I don't mind driving a fire truck through the city at 60 miles an hour trying to get to a cardiac arrest. No problem, because I'm doing it a lot. Whereas on the first day I had to do it, I was shitting myself. And the same with jet skiing. When I went in to collect Ben or collect Kai, I was very calculated. I was in the zone, I could say, for safety that day, because there was no hesitation. Because when you hesitate in those kind of things, it's split seconds that you have to get them. And as I said, the training pays off. Once you do it loads of times, the twitch muscles within your body just react. And that's what you need in those kind of situations.
What happened when you saved Lenny?
Yeah.
I think the tow rope got sucked into the intake, right?
If you looked at that full, there's a good 5-minute video of it. I'm actually out the back towing somebody else, and I saw him go down on the wave and get washed through. Bernard had tried to go in a couple of times to get him, and he couldn't. And I had driven in with the tow rope. I'd left my tow partner out the back, or I'd left Ollie out the back. So I drove in, and I knew I had a tow rope on the back. And what happened was, when I went in for Kai, I was coming out, and we launched off the wave, which happens sometimes. But if I'd stayed on the ski, I'd have broken ankle or damaged my knee. So what you do is you just jump off the side and hold onto the side of the ski, and it literally takes 2 seconds to get back on the ski. And I have a quick start on my jet ski, so I don't have to worry about a kill cord. So the minute I landed, I got onto the ski, and the tow rope must have just got washed under by the rip. We'd loads of power to get out to the safe area, and it was just when we were out in the safer area that I realized the rope was gone under. But that was the first time I've ever sucked up a rope. So I was like, God damn it. Yeah, but as I said, we trained for it, and we tried to take it out with a tool that I got from Australia, but it would have worked perfectly, but it was so embedded that the prop had melted the plastic on the tow rope solid.
Oh.
So it was like
No
rock.
way.
So basically we towed it back the 40 minutes around to the harbour, brought it home, and that evening took off the grade and had it back in the water the next day as well. So yeah.
Tough times.
Yeah. Fun time. I won't say tough. Fun.
It's very different to what we're used to here. And that is that the fire brigade is actually working as the emergency ambulance service, but also taking out fires. What actually made you become a fireman?
So funny story. Yeah. So in Ireland, it's only Dublin that actually has an EMS fire-based service. All the rest of Ireland, the full-time brigades, they're only fire. So Dublin has been doing it for the last 100 years, and they just kept it going really when it all kicked off. I started, when I actually went for the fire brigade, I didn't actually really realize they did medical side of it, but I was already an EMT anyway going into it. So I was enjoying the medical side. I was lifeguarding in a pool, and my dad basically came over and threw the paper down and goes, apply for that, and bullied me into going for the fire brigade. It wasn't even on my radar. I didn't want to be a fireman. Never even crossed my mind. But I had my degree in disaster management, and I had my lifeguarding stuff, and Dad was like, that'd be a good niche for you to get into. And I applied for it, and it was very, very hard to get into. I think it was a computer aptitude test that you had to do. And I think there was like 20,000 people went for that job. Yeah. I see you going, what?
Wow.
Yes. And there was 6 interview stages. So aptitude test, then you did a interview, then you did a practical, a medical, final interview, and then an introduction. And you could have been eliminated at any one of them. So I made it down to, I think I was the top. We got into so they make a panel out of it. So it was the top 200. Mm-hmm. And then I was, I think I was 12th on that panel. But every interview I went into, I didn't care, if you got me.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, this was their heritage in Dublin. Their father was a fireman, and their father's father. So it meant a lot to them. And when they went to interviews and stuff like that, it was very hard. But I went into interviews just going, and they'd ask you, like, when have you ever been in a situation where you've been stressed, or like, so, well, I lifeguarded in the West Coast of Ireland and I had a few drownings, or I did a bit of medical stuff. And so at the end of it, I kept on progressing, and I was like, oh, that's great. And then I go back to lifeguarding, and then I get another interview, and I'd arrive up. Like, I did my homework. I visited a few fire stations in Dublin. Now, remember, I live on the west coast of Ireland. I have aunts and uncle that live in Dublin. So I'd stay with them and I'd go and do my interviews and come down. But when I got the job, I moved up for the training, rented a place and stayed there for the 7 months that we did the training. But then after that, I kept on coming up and down and still lived in Clare. So been doing it 22 years now and yeah, never look back.
Now you're instructor there as well, and you do not only instruct and work, but you also do competitions like on a crimp day.
Yes. So I 15 years ago, I progressed into the river rescue instructor side of it. So I'm an instructor with the fire brigade. So we train all the firemen to become SRTs, swift water rescue technicians, or if they don't advance to that, if they're not good enough, they go to flood response. So they can become a help. And then in the last 4 years, we progressed the rope rescue technicians within the DFB. And one of my officers, Dave Connolly, he wanted us to compete internationally in Belgium with a competition called GRIMP. I don't really know what GRIMP stands for, but it's all about technicalities of rescue. And it's a gruesome 3-day event where you're basically thrown down a ravine or brought to a massive fun fair and said, there's a person hanging off that, go rescue them. And they judge you on everything you do, from equipment that you use to your teammates to how you rescue the casualty, what medical oversight you give within that casualty as well. So I've done 4 GRIMP competitions and a few other competitions in Spain and Portugal and stuff like that. And it's just to keep my skill level up as well. And our job then paid for us to go to Rotterdam to a company over there to train us up as rope rescue instructors. So we brought that back to the fire brigade now, and we're training firemen within one station to become a rope rescue technician. So if anything happens within the city, within a height or within someone in a lower, or even what we've begin to notice now within bariatric patients, we're using rope rescue technicians to extricate the bigger, heavier people out of the houses to save paramedics' backs and firemen's backs.
That's awesome. So would you say you are a bit of an adrenaline junkie?
I wouldn't say that now. No.
No.
I just like to help people. And no. I suppose you would say that. Yeah. Once you use it all up, it's gone though. That's what I heard. So I don't have any in my anymore. So
absolutely burnt out of adrenaline.
Yeah, no, I am. I started getting into downhill mountain biking as well now, and I got an electric one. So I was out there a few times, nearly killed myself. So that's my newest, trying to kill myself in old age. So
yeah, you have to come to Innsbruck. There's some really nice trails here.
Yeah, no, we brought the kids skiing there for the first time last month.
But it was in Southern Tyrol, right?
In Italy. Yeah, no, we didn't go in Innsbruck. I would have got on to you if I was in Innsbruck. Don't you worry.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Yep.
So, after a busy day at work or like a real demanding session at the waves, what's your plan to relax or to come down from all of that adrenaline that you've been talking about just right now?
When I finish at Mully or any of that, I love to go to it's a place called Supermax. It's like McDonald's. It's an Irish brand of place, and I have a cheeseburger, curry chip, and a regular Coke. That's my go-to favorite foods. And then even after that, I like to self-analyze myself. How the session went, how could we make it better in a safety kind of sense afterwards, or did anything happen that we dealt with? How would we make it better? I'm very critical of myself in a lot of ways, that if I didn't have the right equipment with us when we were dealing with a situation, that I'd make sure that we have it for next time. There's so many things coming out online. I'm picking up a new defib this week that's the size of my phone.
Wow.
So that's a game changer. It'll be in our defib. It'll be in our jet ski every time we go out now. So it's amazing. It's like 2 phones put together, and it has the pads built into it. Has 150 shocks.
So cool. All right. That's really cool.
It is cool.
How much is that?
For hiking, for camping, for all that.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's a game changer. It's so light. It's brilliant.
How much is that?
€1,000, just over 1,000.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah.
If someone wants to travel to Ireland and wants to stay safe, is there a way to reach out to the Surf Rescue Club? Or what would you recommend?
It depends on where they want to go, because the lads only have the skis really at Mullaghmore and down in Clare.
No, just probably also for advice or staying safe.
Given my number, I'm always open to advice. Yeah. And if I can't sort them out, I'll send them to somebody up north that can sort them out. Yeah, look me up on Instagram, Pedro2468. Drop me a message. I'll always reply. If I have the answer, I'll answer. If I don't, I'll find out the answer, or I'll send them on to the right person that does. The club isn't gone. It just went through a reshuffle, and it will be coming back soon. But as I said, I couldn't do everything in the club, like secretary, chairman, everything. I didn't want that responsibility. And yeah, so I had to let it go and see how it flew, and it didn't fly. So I have to rebuild the wings and get it back going again. And like, there is a lot of people wanting to progress again. But as I said, I needed to look after my own mental health and all that kind of stuff as well. So
totally understand that.
Oh, but thanks for that offer.
Oh, I know.
For just providing and supporting us. It's really appreciate that.
No problem at all.
So thank you for this amazing interview.
Oh, thank you very much for asking me.
And that was just really interesting, really fun as well. Yeah. I could finally ask all that questions I always wanted to ask when I found the time to ask.
Well, anytime, if you can think of any more, just send me a message and I'll answer it.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the listeners. And we say goodbye for now. And we hope you're with us in the next episode.
All right. Thanks. Until soon. Bye-bye.
Bye now.